I make a motion to open the meeting.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're going, first of all, any additions to the agenda?
Yes, a request for a certificate of compliance in 98 Crescent Street.
98 Crescent, New
Right.
House.
This one, yeah, it's been built. And there were a few other things about the driftway, they were on there.
You should have a colored copy.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
98 Crescent's on here,
Oh, okay.
and life skills starting at Driftway, June 30th.
Yeah,
And
no, it's added to his. No.
It's on the top
No,
here.
Yeah, no, it's for you,
I'm talking
guys.
about my
Okay.
paperwork, I think the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
I don't know, yeah.
Any other additions?
Liaison.
CPC liaison, correct.
No.
We'll get to those. Any other additions? You good?
That's
I
it.
understand we're gonna talk about motion, Kevin, but we don't have to.
The motion to accept the agenda with the amendments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Where do we want to start here? Do you want to start?
Bill could start.
You want to do your report on the
okay,
Vista
sure.
pruning?
Sure, okay. I met Paul Shea out at 0 Wood Island Road last week. We were looking at the property that's in conservation, and for the first time, I think, ever, we are looking at being able to do some, vista pruning type of thing. So what Paul was there for is to say, what he thinks is reasonable, and he took it from a slow approach, a gradual approach, almost a modular approach. So it'll be almost done in thirds. He said, okay, we'll do this. Nothing's going to touch the canopies. He's going to just kind of thin out in the middle. Then we'll stop and take a look. He'll come down. Frank, me, whoever will go over, take a look, and then we'll move on from there. But I think it will be an asset to this particular area. The homeowner seems very, very happy with the discussion so far. There is a tree, a large, very dead tree that we said it's going to be all right to come down. But there are very specific parameters where they're going to be cutting and how high. So I think it's a pretty clearly delineated area that they're going to work at, and it's a gradual approach to it. So.
I believe, just for anybody who doesn't understand, this is something that was discussed late last fall, that first came up as conservation property that needed some improvement, both for the property itself and for the neighbors. And so we approved this with many certain stipulations, and one of which was to have Paul go out and work on this. So if I got that right, remembering it
Yeah,
right.
it was a homeowner's request for vista pruning, which can be allowed as long as it's minimized.
And what they'll be doing too is the live stuff that's out there, they're taking the vines off, and so the live stuff that's in our area will also reap the benefit of having the arborists down there. We also met the arborist on site. So I think it's going to be a successful venture from everybody's point of view.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill.
Yes, sir.
You want to go right into agents report?
Yeah, I could go through a few quick ones. 228 Central is the property on Central Ave that has two concrete walls coming out towards Central, and we had been sending letters to what we thought was the correct address in Florida and then in Marshfield, and they were coming back to us. I spoke to the property owner. They wanted to meet yesterday on site to talk about it, and I wasn't able to do it. So we have a meeting set up to meet with the property owners to discuss this, how you can't put in walls without a permit. They had a permit for other work on the beach side of their home. They didn't have a permit for these walls. So we can set up a meeting before our next meeting and decide what we need to
Weren't
do.
they like Jersey barriers, or were they?
They
out
look,
of the wall?
yeah, they look
big
more
concrete
like
modular blocks that you
Modular.
get.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
I.
so
thought
it's
he had
not a
somebody
permanent
down.
wall, it's
It
in
isn't,
blocks.
no.
They're blocks
It
that you
was
set
that
in.
Yeah.
for the winter.
And as soon as they realized we were trying to reach them, they did call, so.
And they are there.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen them and
they're
actually
there.
said hello to them, and they said, yes, they'd been in touch with you.
Okay. The next one, John Zimmer, he's a wetland resource scientist, and there was a lot out on Glades Road that went through the whole court system, Lot 2 on Glades Road, and it was settled in court, and the person who bought it wants to know do something different than what was allowed under the court decision. So they're going to start by sending us a new wetland delineation out there. And I told them that we would be hiring somebody who hasn't been involved in this case in the past to look it over. So that's going to be coming in. 30 Inner Harbor Road was the house right on Peggotty Beach. Of those 5 or 6 on Inner Harbor Road that wasn't part of the original beach nourishment and walkway plan. They're getting ready to possibly sell this home now. They would like to be part of the walkway plan. So the files are like this. So I'm going to go through the files, see what the other abutters have agreed to do, and then we can have this person file for a permit and maybe tie them into this other plan, or maybe they'll have their own order of conditions. So,
Okay.
Good.
so that'll be
Is
coming
that
up.
going to happen prior to the next meeting, would you say?
I will have gone through the file before the next meeting, and I'll talk to them and see what they have to do.
Might they already have outstanding orders?
This house has not been
Probably
involved
not,
in
no.
anything, no.
Okay.
No, it wasn't part of when they
Okay.
built that.
The Colonel Mansfield lot that we just permitted had stormwater management bylaw on there, and it called for a rubber barrier along the inside of the stone wall next to the abutting property. There's like 30 feet of woods, then there's the septic. But on the far side of the woods, there was supposed to be a barrier, because under the stormwater bylaw, you can't allow the 100-year storm to escape the lot. We went out there, we walked it. There'd be a lot of digging to put this barrier in, and the property owner's engineer asked if we would accept something that would do the same thing but wouldn't be as much digging. And they were talking about some kind of a berm or some kind of a natural soil thing. So we've sent that information to our review engineer, Pat Brennan. He seems to think it would work, but I need to find out how much information we should get from him to show that it's comparable. Because we passed it one way under the stormwater bylaw.
Right, and if it's less disturbance, it might be better anyway.
Right, that's right. So, I mean, Pat could put something in writing, or he could do some calculations that would show, because, you know, the abutters and everybody went to this meeting assuming that this was the plan that was gonna go forward. So we'd have to vote to revise the plan. So, at least.
Good.
So.
Minor activities.
Minor activities permit. Carol, do you recall what this one is? Oh, okay. There was some minor activities, but one is for test pits at the proving ground. They had been out there and done some testing that was required by DEP for the pollutants that were out there. Now they're looking to test soils for the possibility of location of the stormwater systems. And so they sent a plan in where that was going to take place. There were no wetlands crossings, and it looked like they were going to be doing all their pits in the upland areas. And the instructions were the smallest piece of equipment you can use and for the least amount of time out there.
So they're testing for what at this stage?
Areas where there could be soils for detention ponds for stormwater.
Okay.
So as they design their development, they'll know this area is no good, the soil's junk, and other areas might be good. So all these subdivisions usually start with a test pit operation like this.
But it hasn't been determined whether they're going to be septic or not, or,
Now they're just gonna investigate the soils.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the first thing.
Right, they're still looking into town sewer, town water, all that stuff,
Right.
that's going on, but this would be, if
Has
they are
nothing to
gonna
do
go
with it.
forward,
Yeah,
yeah.
gotcha.
May cut down how many houses they could put in there, they may not be a big enough area for stormwater, so.
Just because we do have a few people here that obviously aren't necessarily at every meeting, just to tell you a little about minor activities in 30 seconds. It's a means if you have something on your property that you want to change, but it's really small. It's not like adding a deck. It's not like putting in a whole new sewerage system or septic tank, that you would call conservation. It's a minor fee, and it still goes through us, but it's not all the normal stuff. So spread the word. It is catching on. We have, what, up almost 50 now that have gone out?
Probably, yeah.
And it's just a real efficient way to get something that you really would rather not get us involved with, but you really should. And it's simple. So if you hear about this, please spread the word. Go on.
Thank you. Musquashkett Pond, we've received calls about the green growth of vegetation that's in there, and the people from Coastal Zone Management who have been studying the pond for a long time, and Sue Grady from Grady,
Yeah.
whatever, the person who was in here.
Right.
She's been studying it for a while too, so they're gonna go out this.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Right, got both names wrong. She's gonna be out here this week sometime, maybe Thursday or Friday if they can, and they're gonna try to determine what it is. They're also gonna take a look at that walkway, floating walkway that's down the far end of the pond, and I can't find any permit for allowing that. I don't know if it was just neighborhood group put it together, didn't seem like a big deal, but we're getting calls about that too.
They've also started the restoration of the wall.
Bobble berm,
Yeah,
yep.
right.
Yep.
The berm. But that walkway, before we opened the floodgates at Musquashkett Pond, there used to be a berm that would run
Yeah.
Rocks.
from the people, the J-roll,
Joel or
whatever,
something, yeah,
whatever, over to the beach. And of course, with the flushing, it had to be opened up, so they lost their access to the beach. I was not privy of how, if it was permitted or if it was just where the town was taking away the access to the beach that the floaters were allowed. I know there was a controversy. They were very upset because they wanted their access, but I don't really know where to even start to look, except possibly Jason and Al might. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Al Banger might remember how that came about.
I spoke with Jason today, and he can't recall a permit. He knows it's gone
Yeah.
on for a long time.
Yeah.
And if it's not restricting flow, it may not be as
Well,
big a
that's
deal.
what the whole deal was, because the berm, of course, restricted flow, so nothing past there was getting flushed with the salt
Yeah.
water, which of course we wanted to have
I don't
happen.
think it does.
So I've got a feeling that it was like, okay, we get rid of the berm, but you can
Yeah.
put floaters, as long as it isn't something permanent to stop the flowage.
Yeah. Be good to find something in writing,
Yeah,
some paper
you know,
trail,
it
but.
could be, I'd really ask Al, because Al was head of DPW.
And as Bill was saying, they've started the stonework on the Musquashkett berm, so cobble was purchased from some river somewhere, I guess, and it's rounded stone. It's not as flat as regular beach stone, but it's rounded, and it's felt like it'll work, so it's filled in some of the low areas up on the berm. Glades Marsh, this was it looks like a salt marsh area's been dug up with an excavator. We're still looking into ownership and who the contractor was.
And I saw the pictures of that, but I still can't picture where it is.
It's way out.
It's way out, isn't it? Is it
Way
beyond
out.
the hotel?
Yeah,
The old
yeah.
hotel?
Well, you get there and then you wind it back on the inside.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite a way out there. It's a big mess, though. Then there was the driftway. It was the dog issue was one of the things. I guess all the dogs are supposed to be leashed out there.
Well, actually, this leash law in town, all dogs are supposed to be leashed at all times. You know, whether it's on public property. So that, we could get a sign to put in the parking lot, because I think we also, with the mitts, which is the other thing, one problem we have out there, people will come out with their own mitts, pick up after the dog, leave the bag on the side of the trail.
Nice.
We should have signage, all dogs must be leashed at all times, and remove their waste, dispose of it properly or something to that effect, because that's a major problem out there.
Yeah.
Not just leaving them, but if you pick it up, you don't leave the bag.
Yeah. And didn't Mike Breen say that he had mitts?
said he
that
had
could-
them.
He has
Available, yeah.
the mitt pad, yes,
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
has
I saw
them.
that too.
Different levels of ignorance.
You know, so that's something we definitely should order, you know, one sign should suffice, because there is a leash law. Oh, and the other thing, I'd ask Tim what might be interesting to put on the sign. You can be fined, and I think the fine for leaving your dogs on the sidewalk is $50. And I think people should be aware of that. If you do not dispose of properly, that you could be fined that amount. So that'd be something we'll talk about this
You
week.
need a sign,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And signage for Third Cliff? Was that the same thing?
No, that's the spit, isn't it?
Yeah, there's been spit signs about the birds for
Birds.
years, and they end up at the end of the year, get taken, put in a different place each year, and I think we found them at the fire station at
And
Humrock.
Humrock, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they were looking, Audubon was looking for help putting them up. I don't know if anybody has come forward and volunteered. But she
I know
was.
Mark has helped in the past.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, driven a boat out there with the sign. And Tony used to be our
Yeah.
representative to the spit. And they'd get a bunch together and do it on
Okay. Okay, thanks. This will work very nicely. Your timing is excellent.
Sorry for the-
We've gone through all of the reports.
Did we find the signs?
I think they were at the fire station at Humrock, so.
Are they mounted on posts or just the signs?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I think
believe they're on
I
posts.
think they're mounted on posts. I think
Okay.
they're just laid back there.
There was rope and posts and,
Yeah, I think it's all back behind the fire station. It just got piled up.
So we're ready to start in the RF.
I don't know why it was
First one's
sent
a
over there.
continuation.
who's gonna follow up on the,
Well, on the sign stuff?
Levis, yeah.
Well, we emailed
Posting.
Sue, and I don't know if anybody else is involved. And
Because we did some work with them. I don't think that we've helped fund anything lately.
yeah,
But we did work with, like, I heard you saying, the harbor master.
You want me to call Mark and see if he'll,
Yeah.
Well,
that
I
what you want me
thought
to do?
Mark and Tony, they got together and they got.
Yeah, I've gone, Mark, we loaded them on the boat,
Yeah,
Mark took
and
us
they
out
took
there,
them
and
out.
I'll call Mark and see if we can set it up.
and I'll go and give you a hand if you want to go out and do it with them and
Yeah.
help them put them
Well,
up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna,
Well, we first have to get the signs.
yeah, we're gonna have to get the
Scituate.
signs.
Okay, get the signs,
From
get,
A to B,
and bring
yeah.
them, Mark will put them on the boat and
Yeah.
take us out there.
I'll give him a call and I'll stay in touch with you.
That'd be great.
No problems.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Frank, before you start on the notices, there was one informal that was on for the last meeting, and it got canceled that night and was on for us tonight. We were gonna try to have someone talk about Atlantic Drive. And Peter Armstrong, we asked him to come in at 6:15, so he was the one that we had scheduled before the notices, if you wanted.
Did he show up last week?
No.
He actually didn't, no.
Oh.
And he's here tonight.
All right. Thanks, Frank. Sure.
Peter Armstrong, I'm a contractor, Media Construction. There was a lot that was owned by actually two different people that I've worked for in the past. It was a parking area. The people that owned it prior to the...
Where are we?
We're in Humrock.
Oh, in Humrock,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Drive.
What's the Atlantic Drive?
Atlantic, right off of Central, and
The address is 166 Central.
Okay.
Is that the Coates property or?
Yeah.
Oh, is that, are you?
No, it's the vacant lot.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, it's got an address. All right. We had taken some concrete off of there, taken some of the material that was in the front of it, got all the concrete out of that, regraded the front of the lot, and then the old parking area, we regraded that too. It was in the winter, so I don't think there was any greenery that we took down, but there was some, Pat had said that he had got some Google Earth pictures that he thinks there might have been some that we took down. I have talked with the owner. They want to be able to keep the parking area there, so they figured if I'm assuming you guys are going to want us to do an order of conditions and some type of planting to restore or,
So you cleared this for the owner?
Yeah.
They asked you to clear it out?
yeah, they had just bought the lot from, what was his name?
They bought it from someone named Paul Flynn,
Paul Flynn, yeah.
who inherited it.
Are you
I'm in
representing?
a butter and I have an issue.
Okay, well, we,
All right, well,
Thank you.
What was the people that, Paul got it?
Sangiolo.
Sangiolo, yeah, because I had done some work for them too. The lot had gotten filled by the Tachis that had owned the Coates property. That's on Central Ave.
Okay.
It had, during a 78 storm, a lot of the debris and stuff got put on the lot. And some of the rebar and concrete that was sticking up, the Coates wanted to get removed. So.
Okay.
Frank, could I just verify where we're talking? Is Atlantic Ave, it comes in off Central and goes, and then comes back out?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's way down
Yeah,
the end?
it's a loop,
Well, the
like, and
house
back on.
to the south of this open lot, weren't they in a few years ago, because they were gonna do some work?
I don't remember.
Yeah, and there was asphalt, and we asked them to dig it up, take it up, that little cottage there. So this is just a vacant lot
Yeah.
that nobody lives on?
Penny, if you go down Central Ave, you'll see a greenhouse. Directly behind the greenhouse on Atlantic was a dune
Is
that got leveled.
By this
But
work?
this is on Central Ave, correct? So it
That's
goes,
not
it
exact-
borders to
that's not
Atlantic
exact-
Drive.
I don't know what she meant by that, but that doesn't
Oh,
sound accurate.
all right, no, I'm talking a completely different lot.
To be honest with you, this is
I'm talking on the
kinda-
ocean side.
We're kind of spinning our wheels here without having
Yeah.
any information.
I know.
So,
yeah.
so
Well, at
I
least I
think
know where it
if there was work that was done, it's in a resource area.
Yeah, well, it was
See,
during some of
I'm up here.
part of it was
There
because it was
a
during
lot.
the storm damage.
Okay.
And the south side had got some erosion
Yeah.
and piles of dirt that were left there into the entrance into the parking area,
Okay.
which was right here. This here got filled on this side over and through here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you can see like.
You know where Jessica's house down
Yeah.
there?
You can see a couple of pieces of concrete.
Yeah, it's not the same one.
No, now I know, but it's why I wanted to clarify.
But that obviously looks like
Yeah.
vegetation on either side of it.
It looks a lot worse than what it actually was, because by the time we got there, I think this side had eroded from the storm.
Uh-huh.
I think this is
Thank
an
you very
08
much.
picture
Okay.
from Google Earth.
Yeah.
There was. It's
Actually,
one
that's
by
been
one.
down there.
Yeah,
So we're saying that they
Oh,
need to
there
do an
definitely
after-the-fact
was.
filing?
that's what, we wrote a violation letter saying, there's been vegetation removed, the lot's been altered, you need to either file or put it back to the way it was.
So I think either way they have to file.
Right,
Yes.
right. But then Peter was saying that they were talking about possibly elevating their house that's on the beach and using this lot as the
Storage
lot
area.
for the storage for the, so if they're gonna do that,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Well, we
need
know
to
we
get.
still have to file. I guess they want to be able to still keep the parking area that was there.
So they need to file.
But it's
Yeah.
just a couple of
Yeah.
cars. I mean, this shows.
Yeah, it
really
shows,
big.
I think it was like maybe 3 cars wide, 2 cars deep, maybe 1.5 cars wide. It's a 50-foot wide lot, so I'm assuming it's probably about half of it, which would have been 30 feet or 25 feet.
Maybe three, but I don't see two, because then you're into where the
Penny, why are we
vegetation-
having a hearing before we even have a filing?
No, I don't know
Then
why
let's
we're
not.
talking about it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
May I go on record?
Your name
and
is, sir?
Make a comment?
Your name?
Robert Branca. I own the greenhouse. I'm,
Your address is?
well, it's a summer cottage, 164 Central.
Okay, thank you.
This was owned by two people that have owned it forever. They were 95 and 100 years old. Both of them died in the past few years. It passed to a couple of people through a bequest or whatever, and the Cotes have purchased it. Cotes continued with and without some permission from the Sanjolos, who owned it for 50 years, to park on the back end. Previous owner, Tachi, for years and years kept dumping crap in there and filling it in, and got bigger and bigger and bigger. I came down there in April just to get my water, to start opening up my little cottage. Number one, the thing has been graded. I have the remnants of a small retaining wall that goes back to 1968, 69, 70. They have built this thing up now, 4.5 feet above to the edge of my property with no retaining. Everything is going to flow. If they put anything on it, there's liable to be some collapse. Secondly, whoever dug out, I've seen Tachi, who's gone, I've seen Cote, with whom I'm friendly. I wish the heck they would have had the courtesy to at least discuss their plans and inform someone, you know, what they were intending. I came down, and I was a little upset, because number one, there used to be crevices. This thing has been graded from the back of, at the Atlantic Ave edge to within 8 feet of Central Ave.
So do you understand what Pat said, that we issued an enforcement order and asked them to come in?
Now-
Mr. Armstrong's here tonight. What we're saying is, we want this person that owns the property to file. And at that point in time, we'll have a hearing.
Okay.
And then you'll have the opportunity, because what you're really giving us tonight is not part of a hearing process.
Well, I understand, I was informed, and I wanted to hear what was being planned. He made no mention of what Mr. Gallivan had suspected and been informed of, and that's this perhaps intent to use it as a staging area. I'm a little upset the condition it's in. Whoever dug out and cleared the front of this thing, it went below the street level a little bit, in about 7-8 feet. They ripped out a third of my bushes.
Okay, but we don't even, I appreciate what you're saying.
Well, I'm just...
So what we want to do is, we need to get a plan, we need a filing.
Yep.
You understand this, you're going to get
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Why don't we send this, do we know who the owner is?
Yep.
Yeah, they received the letter.
All right, so,
They've already hired Grady Consultant to do the order conditions.
okay,
I know that the proposal just got signed and sent back with a check,
yep.
so, I mean,
So it's in the works
Right.
to come before us. I mean, we've done the piece that we can do, now they have to come before us. If they don't, then we'll start to fine them for work that they've done. That's the process that we can follow. And it sounds like Mr.
Yeah.
Armstrong's telling us that they're moving forward with that.
Well, can they move forward with no concern of potential damage to me? I mean, this thing...
Mr. Branca, excuse me. What's going to happen is, when they file, you will be notified, and you will have a chance to say everything you would like to say tonight, but it's not time to say it. So, you know, that's going to be what's going to happen.
But right now, they pretty much can't do anything.
Right.
Until,
They can't do anything now.
Until we get,
But it's substantially been altered from last year. That's
and we're
what's
gonna look
bothered
into
me.
it.
And that's
as soon
why
as we
this
get
is all
the-
happening.
And despite what he said, I'm sorry, I've been there for 50 years, and this is getting worse every year. And you know, I don't want to file a complaint, but you know,
You don't have to. It's been done. The complaint's been done. Now we're getting in the process of getting this restitution done. There will be a hearing, and believe me, you will be invited to come back, and then you can say all the things that you want to say.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
No, that's
No,
okay.
no,
it's
That's all right.
no problem.
We appreciate it, but
Yeah.
we're already there, so.
Thank you.
news to me. I do want to get your information, because I know the engineer's probably going to want to talk to you then, too.
Okay,
I'm a friend of your brother's. You might not want to talk to me.
all right.
My condolences.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know it was not a formal. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thanks, we
Thanks a
appreciate
lot.
your concerns. Thank you. Howe, 92 Clap Road, 12 by 14 deck continued. Anybody here for Howe?
That one, the trampoline is in the area where the blueberry bushes are gonna go, so I haven't been out there since then, but, that's where the plantings are supposed to be, so
Might have
Trampolines
to
I
go.
haven't been out there this week, but I will get out there, so. So they're on hold. The contractor's still working on the porch that was already approved before. That's a different project. So they haven't started the deck yet,
Okay.
so.
So we're just going to continue the idea?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we could do, I'll get out there between now and 2 weeks.
Yeah, we had an outstanding order of conditions that still hadn't been
Right.
complied
Right.
with yet, so we're not
Right.
doing anything on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion to continue how to July 2nd.
Do you have to give it a time?
And they know
No,
that they're not,
not yet.
shouldn't start anything until they get that resolved?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
I second it.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Finnegan, 153 Hollitt, remove stumps, debris, invasive vines, replace fence.
And you've got a note on that one, I think, don't you?
thought. How are you today?
Thank you. Okay,
So, did somebody make it out there?
Frank
Oh,
Pat and I went there. Did anybody else go, like, back? I know a couple of you have been out there before.
Not this time, though.
Do you want
and, no, there's a-
to run with this, Pat, or you want me to?
Sure. I mean, we've talked in the past about an altered site. What can we do to make the site better, but also allow some yard work? It's a pervious project. It's, planting beds for vegetable gardens. So it's on a filled area. There was some cutting done. It's within the buffer. So what we decided to do is maybe find a way to give a better buffer to the wetland area and to allow some of the area that's filled to be used for a garden. So the whole thing, at this point, if they come in, wouldn't have been permitted, but it's on fill and it goes back before, there were any wetland laws. So at this point, we walked the site, Frank and I walked the site, and we followed an old fence line that had been a yard in the past. And then we talked to the homeowners about giving some of that area back as a natural buffer without any kind of plantings in it. The other thing about this yard, that was all invasive. There's an awful lot of invasive problem back there, so whatever they do, they're gonna have to work on drawing a line to try to keep it from taking over the whole yard. So, and it's like a compromise position, there's no way to say you have to be 50 feet away.
So you guys came up with something that works for
Yeah, Pat and I
everybody?
came out, we met with the Finnegans. I think
So
seems like we're protecting the
they're
wetlands.
good, you're good, the wetlands is good?
There's not weed like going crazy. Even the places that they stopped touching since we were out there has knotweed that's now 18 inches high. So, I mean, they've got their hands full to keep some of that pushed back. There's a picket fence, and they're gonna sort of come off of that, a little bit of an angle, and then run across the backyard. That's gonna give them a place for their garden. The trees that we talked about the last time, those pine trees are dying, they'd like to cut those down. They're just gonna chip it and try to suffocate some of the knotweed with the chips that are there. And
So are we using the picket fence as the
We
delineation?
Yeah, we staked it out yesterday,
Yep.
and, yeah, we could do that. We could put conservation, stickers out there.
Okay.
but I still think they're gonna have to go beyond that to try to keep the knotweed down. They're gonna have to be able to cut or deal with that as time goes on, or it's just gonna fill that whole backyard. So I don't have a problem with them.
You need a vote.
So like a little buffer zone behind the fence?
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with them continuing to try to cut back the knotweed in the area beyond the fence. Certainly, we don't want native trees. There was some cedars that they asked about. We said we'd like to see them stay. But it's the invasives that I don't have a problem. It seems like it's gonna be ongoing.
Uphill battle.
Where the fence is going, does it stay level after that, or is that where the drop-off is in the back?
Drop-off is actually off to
It's
the
on the
right-hand
side,
side.
but
It's actually on
the
the right-hand, if you look,
Yeah.
I drew the fence in orange here, and where it makes a 90-degree angle there, that's
Right.
the existing fence, and it drops off right behind that.
Okay, but this area behind the added picket
That,
fence,
no, that's level
pretty-
all the way down.
That's still level. It
All
goes
right.
Yeah,
probably out
that
another
goes
100
way-
feet.
Goes
Yeah.
more than that, it goes out into the marsh there.
No, that's what I was, because we didn't walk all the way out.
I know, it goes, it's level.
Yeah, so I was just
I
curious.
can actually read it.
I have to say, it's one of the better drawings we've got.
I can actually read this
about
one.
to say. Oh, yeah, if the plumbing doesn't work out, I know.
This is way more
And it's
lucrative,
colored,
Paul.
you love it.
I should have let him draw first.
You know,
All right, so we need a vote or what?
What, a negative what? Anybody else? I'm sorry. Anybody in the audience? Okay.
Negative
I make a motion for -3.
3, yeah.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for,
Thank you.
Thank
Together
you very
on
much.
Right.
Do you mind if we check on your progress periodically?
What's that?
Do you mind if we check on your progress
I
periodically?
like dogs.
Okay. Oh, I love dogs.
Thank you.
what kind of dogs?
Labs.
Oh, no
Oh.
problem.
Kissy dogs.
I can't believe people are so happy to get out of here. It just,
Why wouldn't they? We are.
One there, yeah, we told them to come in early to
I'm sorry, so you want to,
This one get added before you got to that. I don't know if you
Oh, it's up here. I am Chris.
okay.
Yeah. This one, I gotta show you the plans.
Do we have a, is it an RDA or is it an informed?
Certificate of compliance, request for a certificate?
Okay. So you want to do that next?
Yeah, if we could, it just takes a little bit of explaining, it'd take a couple of minutes or so.
Okay, so we're going to discuss Pritchard, 98 Crescent Ave, Certificate of Compliance.
Okay, this came in at the last meeting, and it was a request, and the as-built was different. So we said, gee, we can't issue it with a different as-built. So I get back to Grady, and it turns out there were two different approved plans. One was all vegetation, and one was the engineered plan. So when Grady submitted, this is the original plan. And then the as-built has to be viewed along with this vegetation plan. So this is the one we recently received. This is the plantings that were done in the back. I went out there, this was all done, but when then I got this, there were a few things missing up in this area. And it turns out that was outside of our jurisdiction, so we didn't put in the walkway in, but it's more than 100 feet away. So we focused on elevations and the work that was done, you know, within our jurisdiction, from top of bank to the corner of the house, took out the shed. This is all grass, and then all this vegetation was just planted. This is all Rosa Rugosa and things like that.
Okay.
So brought some pictures if you want
So
to see
that's,
this.
so that's now installed.
Yeah.
Planted.
So where,
So do we have anything from Grady saying that it's substantially in
Yeah, Grady, well,
compliance?
Grady's letter, and then he sent this as the as-built. But
Okay.
yeah, his letters.
Hi,
Hey, how you doing tonight?
good. I'm Steve Pritchard. I don't think I've met
Yeah,
everybody
sorry.
at you, Frank.
Sure.
This is just, I brought some pictures just so you could see what's planted out there. This is the seawall. Covered up your drawing here.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
Here's a seawall out here. And so we planted along, this is the vegetation we planted along here, yeah.
Right.
Down here. And it's been a challenge. We had something else in there, and we had to go to Rosa Rugosa just because of, you know, occasionally the water comes over that wall and does a number on the plantings, but it gives you a sense of how those are all planted in there. We've got other pictures. It goes all the way along the whole perimeter here. It comes around this corner too. I don't know what else you need to see in terms of other plantings, but it's been in place for quite a while now. This just gives you, this is like an overview of the whole planting area along the back
You
wall.
should have gotten one of these.
When did we do
Okay.
the
When?
Oh, no,
notice?
that's fine.
How long ago?
Oh,
I thought-
2008.
Okay.
We're a little late getting to the
Sure.
certificate, but
It's not, it's 228.
Well, that's
It's
good.
one of those
A
things
lot of
that-
people do it when, at the closing, when they've
Yeah.
sold the house.
You're early.
Yeah.
Not by much.
not by much, right?
Do you agree with this, Pat?
Yeah, the engineering letter explained what was done around the, you know, the site work, and then the vegetation was better than I expected. So, yeah, I think it meets what you need to for a certificate of compliance.
Penny?
I'm fine with it.
Good.
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 Anybody in the audience? Not that we have to, but, okay.
So they're gonna get a CSC on that?
CSC. And the check was received.
And we don't have to vote on
In cash.
that. Okay.
Okay.
Good to go?
Great, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Right,
yeah.
Is this
That's the
ours,
as-built,
Pat?
right?
These are all ours?
Yes.
That's a pretty area.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's that second clip?
Oh, do you want this, Pat?
Oh, it's third.
Oh, it is? No.
If I keep it up here, Carol will be looking for it tomorrow.
Preston's on second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Johnson, 17 Mordecai Lincoln, septic repair.
You've got a spiel for that.
Yep. On June 18th, 2014, during the 6:15 PM meeting, the Town Hall Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of Carl Johnson for a determination of applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetlands Bylaw to repair a septic system on property located at 17 Mordecai Lincoln Road, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend.
I'd have to look it up and you're going to.
Sure.
Alright, so my name's Steve Hassett, I work at Morse Engineering. I'm representing Carl Johnson today. And our project is a septic system repair plan at 17 Mordecai Lincoln Road. There's currently a 3-bedroom, single-family dwelling on the property, which is serviced by a cesspool located right here in the rear of the house. That's failed Title V. So,
Oh, you gotta kind of move it.
Sorry.
oh, sorry.
Thank you.
So the existing cesspool has failed. There's a wetland in the back of the property shown here by this blue line that's delineated by Brad Holmes. And this pink line is the 50-foot buffer, and this is the 100-foot buffer. So for our plan, we have a test pit here just outside the 50-foot and a test pit here at the 100-foot buffer. And for our plan, we kept the system as far up the hill without using a pump chamber. So we have a 1,500-gallon septic tank here, which will flow by gravity to a distribution box and then a leaching field. And right now, our system's 60 feet away from the wetland, and all grading, everything will be outside of the 50-foot buffer. And that's about it. Any questions?
Penny?
No, is there ledge there?
Nope, we did not hit any.
You didn't.
No.
Good.
Bill?
So what is there now?
There's a cesspool that's
Cesspool.
failed.
That's
Yeah.
failed. So this is an
Uh-huh.
improvement, yeah.
They're gonna crush it. I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. We actually hit boulders at 98 inches. Sorry about that.
So it's still gonna be inside the 100.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
really nowhere else.
And this is an improvement
It's
of
outside
what's
the 50.
Oh,
existing,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
Big time.
I'm good.
I'm good. Good plan.
Paul?
It's good.
Lisa?
All set.
Board of Health, on the condition,
Yeah,
Board of
it's
Health,
just
right?
a technical thing, there's a box that you need to check on what type of a project it is, but I'm saying it is the DEP, so it's a
On the
project
RDA.
other than a single-family house or a public project where the applicant owned the lot before 1996. So I'll just check that off when we submit it in there, because it was blank. And there's the riverfront area out the back, so everything is at least 100 feet away, it appears to be, from the river. It's on the adjacent lot to this house. So, and then there's a pond, so it's riverfront for a while, then it changes to pond.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's, you said 60 from the BBW?
Yeah.
And the flagging here, 2 different types of flags out there, the blue flags and then the pink and black striped flags. Were the blue ones riverfront maybe? That
I'm
wasn't.
not positive.
Are there any notes on the plan for Riverfront?
No.
We just have the
there isn't.
BBW.
But I'm under the assumption you're pretty much out of the riverfront.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
gotta be,
pretty
what,
far.
two?
It's your,
Yeah.
200 for the river.
Frank, do you wanna
Right?
look at the
Yeah.
plans?
Lisa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he's-
Yeah, right.
it's the first.
Yeah, so that's a long way.
Is this up, this is where Summit, not Summit, but this is right up on Mordecai Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the second one
Yeah,
up
it's-
from the village.
That river's a long way.
It's
Yeah.
that
That's
end.
all the way up over the hill and then down the other side.
Well, the river all runs fine, close, but
Well, actually,
this I don't think is really that close to it.
no, it's way up at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
When I was out there, I didn't really notice a river.
It's, Palm Brook is what we're,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is about 100 feet of wetland before you get to where the slope starts.
okay.
The wetland goes as far as the river, but it's definitely in the outer 200, so
Yeah,
septic is allowed on here.
It'd be quite.
Yeah, because the river triggers
Yeah.
200, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The inner 100 is
Fine.
so.
Yep.
The only thing I would mention is, while they have the excavator out there, they've done a lot of dumping in the wetlands with trees and
Okay.
trees and a lot of property owners. So it's, right as you have the drop off, you know, from the landscape area,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of stuff dumped in there. They could
Put
take
that in
that
the
out as part of.
Order of conditions.
digging them.
All right, we can do that as well, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you convey that
All right,
to them.
yep.
And the soil stockpiling too, it's really a steep slope in that yard, so there's
Yeah.
gonna be, you know, some good erosion controls.
All right, we do have the silt fence and
And this automatically
make sure to
assumes
keep everything
DOH
further up on the
approval,
property.
right?
Does the Board of Health approve this?
I believe so.
We
Better
need,
have that
need more than that.
certificate.
You don't want us to close until the Board of Health's, in case you have to make any changes.
Yeah, it's approved.
Yeah, they've been receiving the plans for approval at the Board of Health, but it hasn't been turning over as quickly as it used to. So if there's a way to do maybe a pending vote on this, because,
Okay.
you know, rather than hold up a cesspool that's failed, it may take a while to get improvement.
I mean, I don't know, have we ever closed subject to the Board of Health?
Good idea.
This is like extenuating.
Feel like that
Well,
one,
could you,
Carol.
can you make it as a
Uh,
order of conditions?
This right now is kind of extenuating circumstances. though,
Right.
where-
No, it is, because the
until we have a
health
vote
agency.
time.
But can we put it as an order of conditions? As
Yeah.
a Board of Health?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody in the audience? Motion to close?
Okay, I make a motion for a -3, with the stipulations.
A
we
negative?
just
What-
said.
No.
It's
No.
an idea.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
If they
Yeah.
have to move the system.
Sorry.
With the stipulations that Matt mentioned
Board of
That's what I
and the
just
Board of
said.
Health, yeah,
Yeah.
right, and the Board of Health.
Yeah, we haven't used.
Second.
Long time deal.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign on before they come to our hearing, and
Yeah.
we'll know in advance, but it's.
Okay,
it's not-
Carol, so did you
Yeah.
get those stipulations in one?
Yeah.
No, there were two,
So
the
we
Board of
Close
Health
approve it,
and
change, it's just come back.
Cleaning up the
Cleaning
debris.
out the debris at the back of the lot.
down
Yeah.
below.
Is it,
They're all doing it
Tan
on your own now.
Tan Guy, 21 Gate Circle?
Oh, yeah.
Are they here?
10 guy, 21 gates.
Is anybody here for that?
Joe, we have an NOI scheduled for 6:45. That was Bailey's Causeway.
Yeah. Oh, we should probably do that. Because the other guy isn't here anyway.
Well, can we just wrap up a couple of these RDAs?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Let's just try to get through those couple. So, is it TIS, 14 Park Ave, connect to sewer?
Good idea, glad you guys go over another idea.
Oh, it's Phil, let's wait.
Those fast.
Wait a minute. On June 18th, during the 6:15 meeting in the Town Hall, Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of Robert Tiss for a determination of applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetlands Bylaw to connect to sewer on property located at 14 Park Ave. Scituate abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend.
Thank you. My name is Phil Spath, with Spath Engineering, representing Tice. And what we're doing
Right.
is, sorry, we have a failed Title V, which can be Title V. So what we've done is gone for a sewer tie-in, which we have received it from the selectmen. The existing sewer manholes located with this location. You can see the BBW, and we're coming in with a 2-inch line all the way up and feeding our house. And what we want to do is, again, a portion of it will be going through the road, the majority of it will be going along the shoulder. And as soon as it's excavated, the pipe will be in and it'll get backfilled. We have a silt fence just in case along this side, and minor construction is going on through there. We just need a waiver from the within 50 feet of the BBW.
This is all on the edge of the road.
It's all on the edge of the road, except for crossing the road right into here to get to the manhole,
Yep.
all along the side of the road.
Do you know how deep they have to dig for that,
4
Phil?
feet. We're only going 4 feet. We'll just have to go underneath the drain line, come back up. It's a 4-foot depth.
Okay. I just thought would be if they had to de-water, they just want to be sure they're not.
Yeah, they shouldn't, I don't think you have a problem with ground in that area. We're shallow.
Okay.
That's all I do.
That's pretty wet over there. Phil, what happens to the old tank and stuff with the situation like this? Just
It
leave
would
it?
just, you pumped up and buried, it's an old cesspool.
Yeah.
So they pump it out to just bury it into the shelter. Unless the house goes in and they'll take it out.
All right, so the leaching field and stuff just kind of
It's
is
just,
left.
it's one cesspool, it's there, that's
Yeah.
all it is.
Okay.
It's in the earth.
Okay.
Bill?
Good.
Good. Paul?
Good, looks good.
Anybody in the audience? The Tice? Okay.
I'll make a motion for a -3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
McDonough, 16 Oceanfront Street, remove and replace asphalt. On June 18th, 2014, during the 6:15 meeting at Town Hall, Scituate, the Conservation Commission will act on the request of Kevin McDonough for determination of applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetland Bylaws to remove and replace existing asphalt on property located at 16 Ocean Front Street, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend.
How you doing? Good, thanks.
Glad to see you here.
Again, yes, for some reason, these property owners want us to appear. They live on the North Shore, you know,
Sure.
down Florida. The family name is Tregoni, if that's correct. And I did provide some photos of the existing. Up. Patrick has them. And a little sketch.
Oh, guess what? Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course, I've been there many times.
Couple different angles.
What's wrong with that driveway?
You want the close up?
Looks like mine.
Well, there you go. Call me Paul.
Call me. Here's my card.
And I'm friends with both of the Armstrongs, so.
That's hard to do.
I know.
Yeah, sure, yeah, I thought you said. So, we're not,
It's removing and replacing.
Existing only in, it's bordered by concrete out the front there near the street, which we believe intact.
Yeah.
And then it's also bordered on all the way around concrete walls, and then there's plantings everywhere there on either side.
Is there an intent to just repave it the same as it has been?
Oh, do you just go over it?
No, I
Oh.
understand you're gonna dig it out, but are you
Oh.
gonna re-asphalt it? Is that the intent?
Yes, correct.
Do you have to re-asphalt it?
That's their request.
He wouldn't be here if they weren't.
Right.
You know,
There are other ways
well,
to
that's
do it.
what they would prefer, yes.
I don't believe we can stop it.
No, it's already, it's existing.
Any chance that they'd allow some area to be crushed stone or something, just to allow water to?
You know, I mean, maybe, you know, as you look at it, can you see the plantings where the garages is the right side?
Yes.
There's, towards the street, there's an area, I don't know, 20 by 3 or 4. Let that go and do some more plantings or whatever there.
That'd be awesome.
Am I correct? Did you do the next door neighbors?
I did.
You were here last fall.
Yes, I was.
And you left about a 3 or 4
I
foot
forget,
border.
yeah, on the
We
right
asked you the
side.
same questions, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
these were
And
consistent.
of course, they never understand, you're talking long distance to them, they're in Florida,
And
whatever.
they haven't planted it yet, but that's okay, we'll
No, they
we'll work on
haven't, I
that.
noticed that the other day.
They'll be up pretty soon.
They didn't pave it though either, so.
No, he
They
left the
didn't
border,
pave
you
it.
did
No, we
just
didn't
exactly
pave
what
it.
we asked you
And
to
I
do.
told this woman over the phone the same idea. I said, listen, why do they have to do that? So, you know,
I'd like to see the same thing.
why don't you go to the meeting?
You'd find out, yep.
I'd like to see the same thing.
Yeah, it looked like there
So
might have
with-
been an area you could do a little planting in front of the existing planter, but,
Right.
you know.
On this one?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's
that's what I'm saying. On
yeah.
that right, can you guys, do you have that
Yep.
photo?
Yep.
All right, because
I can see it.
I have many other ones.
So what do you think, just move the planter out like another few feet?
Take it, I'll just remove it and leave it. I'll do what I have to do.
Okay.
And you can tell them that we're consistent.
Exactly, and I did tell him that.
Okay.
I'm learning.
Anybody in the audience on this?
I make a motion for a -3.
With the,
back to.
with the
Kevin wants to
stipulation.
consult helping people fill out the forms too, right?
No, I don't. I, Carol helped me.
Carol, did you get that?
With the stipulation on the plantings. Okay, thanks.
Right side.
I'll-
Okay.
You seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, it's,
Thank you very much.
And thank Carol on
you.
this one.
Thank
too.
Carol, she helps me all the
Carol
time.
worked as Kevin did, yeah.
I thanked her again.
Thanks, Kevin.
She likes the dark chocolate.
Okay. I was gonna say something.
We are screaming through, no. Dear God.
You give those back to Pat.
Yes.
If she doesn't get them, I will. All right. Okay.
That
Davidson?
someone- He still isn't here.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
34 Bailey's Causeway, raise and rebuild. On June 18th, 2014, 6:40 PM, the Town Hall Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40, Mass General Laws, and Section 30700, Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws, regarding the application of Janie Davidson to raise and rebuild a dwelling on property located at 34 Bailey's Causeway, Scituate. Butters and other interested parties are invited to attend. You need an easel?
We have an easel?
Yeah.
Up and
Yeah,
back
right there.
in the corner.
Well, there's some nice ones, yeah.
Such a cute little flower.
Really?
I hate to see it go.
There was like slam construction, baseball, electric heat.
But it really, when I went by there, I said, it's so sweet.
So, Brenda Sullivan with Kevin Rock Consulting. I'm here with Janie Davidson, the owner of 34 Bailey's Causeway. Basically, just you spoke about the existing dwelling there. We're going to tear down and rebuild floodplain. The existing first floor is right around elevation 11, I believe. Floodplain is at 10. There is a crawl space that goes down to about, goes below grade. It's down to about 7 or elevation 7 or 8 or so. So the
Wait, what,
Not bad.
what zone is this in?
This is in a zone AE, elevation 10.
Do you remember,
I've been here, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
You're driving away from the beach and
Yeah, I
Go
yeah, I know where it is, I
Causeway.
just thought that the elevation would be higher. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. So you get the causeway here. We have a salt marsh bordering on the adjacent property to the east. We have salt marsh on the across the street to the north and across the private way on the west side. Most of the property, about half of the property is in the 100-foot buffer. There's a little portion of it in the 50-foot buffer towards the front of the Bailey's Causeway. So like I said, the septic system's staying where it is. We are taking down an floodplain house and rebuilding. Bless you. And we're going to relocate the existing shed that's there over into the side yard, take it out of the 50-foot buffer. Approximately half of the house will be in the 100-foot buffer. As I said, the flood zone is pretty much cuts this corner of the house, and most of the house will be still in the flood zone, but it will be flood compliant. The basement floor, which will actually be like call it the basement, but it's almost going to be like a slab on grade on this side. It's going to be at elevation 9. Flood zone is 10. So there'll be flood lines to accommodate the flood waters in and out along that side, in along the front and back. And then the living space, there won't be any living space. And the bottom floor is mostly for storage. And these floors above will be for the living space. We are proposing to eliminate some invasive species along the eastern portion of the property and replace them with we have a suggested native planting to get rid of those. And we're doing a little bit of work on the driveway in front. We're going to keep it a gravel driveway. It's been overgrown a little bit. Just going to cut it back a little bit to allow for 2 cars to get in there. And that's about it. The first floor is going to be up around elevation 17.1. Like I said, the basement is at 9. The top of foundation will be a foot above flood zone, elevation 11.
but the first floor is at 17?
The first floor is at 17. So, yeah, it'll probably be, might be, won't be stepped, but, yeah, it's nothing.
And the mechanicals are all in the upper elevation?
Yes. They're on the first floor?
Yes.
Okay.
There's nothing, it's just what we call a basement is just under the house. There's nothing under there.
There's nothing in there.
Nothing to be.
Is that the new flood map elevation?
I was shooting.
Good for you.
The new one, I think, was it?
It's 16, but
16?
then there's that other NVGB, which
Right.
is
Yeah.
17,
So, yeah, it will be above that if those, but they.
I think it's a good move. I mean, makes the house up there, but
FEMA has taken those preliminary maps, I'm sure you're aware of it, just as soon as recently as 2 weeks ago, they've taken those flood maps off of their website, all the preliminary maps. So they're
redoing them.
They're redoing them now. So,
Penny?
No, I think it's gonna be a cute little house there.
Bill?
Not sure of
No, no questions, thank you.
The septic is already there.
It's there and there's
Right,
not being
and they're
changed.
not moving it, so.
that. No,
Looks good.
no, even the driveway, the
Looks
gravel
good.
drives, yeah.
Scallon?
You're gonna keep the gravel driveway, that's good. The silt sock, you're gonna use that instead of a silt fence, a real sock, okay.
yes. Yeah.
And the soil stockpile area, is there any deal where you could,
Not a lot of room there, maybe on the, maybe over the shed area, the shed is.
okay, yeah, if anywhere that side.
We have, luckily, she's here with her mom. Her mom owns this corner downstairs, so that can help out with the construction, the access and whatnot.
Okay, and you're gonna have the flood vents in the
Yes.
basement,
Yep.
okay. And no proposed fill at all on the site,
No,
within
it's
the
gonna
flood
pretty
zone?
much- Pretty much gonna, grade the way it is now today.
Okay, and I think the one thing on the plan, I think the wetlands to the west, I don't think that's salt marsh on those. I think those were border, yeah, it's BVW on that
Okay.
side, so we'll just change that.
Just one question, you said the shed, is that out of the 50?
Yeah, the shed's between the 50 and the 100.
Yeah,
and
right
then
now,
they're-
it's gonna be moved, relocated to the outside of the jurisdiction.
But if it's in the flood zone, will that have to be
Will that have to be
It has to be
raised? That's what I was
elevated.
getting,
Yeah.
that'll have to be elevated.
No,
They can just anchor
That's
it.
gonna be above elevation 10.
And the native plantings looked good if they were gonna be along the east side of the border there. It's all invasive along there now, so.
It seems like it deals with that edge pretty well,
Yeah.
which is really the critical piece.
Yeah,
Anybody in the audience?
Mom, you're all right with
Are the
it?
neighbors, are the neighbors okay with
You're
this?
okay, Mom?
She's just in a butter.
Wow.
Just? There.
Yeah, if she starts objecting, it's a problem.
That's right.
Did you hear the part about the earth stockpile?
She might have access to the shed.
She's really nice.
Okay.
I make a motion to close.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
Good
Well
luck.
done.
Thank you.
Are you gonna do that this summer?
Well, I hope so. I didn't want to have chicken this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my first step, so. Go as soon as I can.
Good luck.
Get rolling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are those your plans rolled up on the floor by the easel, or does
No.
somebody else leave it? Oh,
You want them?
sure.
I don't know.
Maybe we do, maybe we don't.
Maybe that's the guy that didn't show up.
Yeah, just sit here, could you just review them for us?
That must be DPW or something. That's all right.
Looks like something more important than us.
Thank you.
Frank, should I make a motion on,
So do we want
the
to,
RDA that didn't come?
yeah,
I make a motion to continue 21 Gates Circle until July 2nd.
Carol, did they call,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are just screaming.
Yeah.
they learned a lot from the one on Ocean Drive right around the
Well,
corner. They
yeah.
were at all those hearings.
Yeah.
I was out there today, to Ocean
Oh, yeah.
Drive.
Building a house.
Have you seen how they did the
The
wetlands?
plantings is unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having that in my.
Yeah, that was Brad Holmes.
Sometimes mitigation is a good thing.
Yeah, I hear you. No, but he planted all,
Did a nice
The
job.
house looks too low, but
the house is really big.
Lisa and I went to a replanting and a Phragmites removal project right down on the river, 66, what is it, 66 Bailey's Causeway. There's Phragmites everywhere except for where they had this eradication program, there's nothing. It's all salt marsh.
Really?
Yeah, it came, the guy that did it came back out, Politan, worked with Brad Holmes. He went back out there, he says he's never seen one turn out like this.
did you know how to get rid of knotweed?
I don't know if he's a miracle
It's
worker.
just clean.
Yeah.
Really?
Let's hope it stays that way.
Is that one on tonight, Carol, 66?
Bless
So
you.
we got orders of conditions. Do we want to do that next, or is there something else? Just so I don't forget to do it, Community Preservation Commission has to have an appointment. We have a liaison that, from Conservation to CPC. And I've done it for a few years, and we need to vote it every year. We got a letter from Selectmen looking to get that renewed.
Well, the question is, do you want to do
I
it
was
again?
gonna say, I nominate Frank
Well,
Snow to.
second
I mean, this.
Sorry,
it's-
vote.
Second, oh, wait a minute. I just want you to
I
say
mean, I found
yes.
myself really busy this year, and I did
I
not
know.
make all the meetings for there. I tried to cover it as best I
Would you
could.
like to try again, do a better
Um,
job this year?
I would be perfectly happy if someone else wanted. It's interesting, but it does take some time. The biggest pain is
Here's the
that all the applications come in around October, and they all have to be prepped for town meeting. So
Basically, he built.
unfortunately, you don't do a whole lot
house, I know the house.
um,
Had nothing to do with it.
until
It's keeping
October, but then there's some pretty regularly scheduled meetings until
We're gonna do the same thing.
close to town meeting.
Well, what if you do it again and we promise to back you when you need it?
Well, it's up to you, Frank. I mean,
I'm glad to do it, but it is an interesting thing to do, and it can be, you do see a
we're
lot of
looking
things
for a
happen.
simple yes or no.
So what I want,
Not getting.
what- I want to get some CRs done.
Yeah.
So if a couple of people want to work on some CRs, I'll do the CPC
Ooh,
piece.
here's some horse trading. Nice.
Hey, you guys aren't listening. Well, we just want to nominate Paul and Lisa.
No.
Decline.
So,
What's the odds?
The conservation restrictions on the pieces of property that we already acquired need to get completed.
They're not complete.
Well, they're moving forward, but it's been slow. It's just a lot of I dotting and T crossing. We have an attorney now for CPC that's willing to get that done, and she's very knowledgeable. So I think they can be moved forward. We're hopeful, we actually heard that the deeds are being mailed out back and forth on the Crosby piece. They're heading to Chile and wherever else people live. And we may actually pass on that piece of property fairly soon,
Oh,
which
that
would
would
be
be nice.
incredible.
2+ years.
But we do need to get conservation restrictions done on that, and we're also working really quickly to get the Damon parcel done. We're gonna, hopefully they'll give us a short extension, but that's the piece that we just approved at town meeting, and it's moving along, because they want the thing done.
Yeah.
So nobody's objecting, and this, hopefully the surveying, contract will be let out pretty quick. Get the appraisals.
Then we can start doing our parking lots, get smart
Right.
FPs on.
But we need to get these conservation restrictions. The conservation restrictions, when a piece of property is acquired with CPC funds, it has to have this conservation restriction placed on it. And then it lists the things that are permissible and that are not permissible. You know, motorized vehicles aren't, we want horses, those kind of things. We sort of have it templated, it just needs to get pushed along. It's more somebody prodding a little bit.
I'll help
Do
do
that,
it.
and I'll certainly
Prodding,
help with
well,
it.
see, that, we talk about this all the time, but it's almost like I'm more than happy to help too, Bill. I need a direction. Where do I even start? Who do
I can do that.
call?
Enough about it. But
Do
I'll,
you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah,
like,
see Carol.
yeah.
Now, is Lisa still the chair of the
right now.
commission?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
board,
And she's willing to work on it as well. It's just a matter of really just pushing.
Well, it's a matter of, just sit down and what has to be done. See, that's,
Right.
it's almost,
We have a
It's
list,
always in
we've
limbo.
got a couple done, so. it's
A
not
lot of
that-
towns,
Yeah.
that's a paid position. And Hanover's a small town, and they had a half-time CPC coordinator.
well, we're
who
not
get paid.
getting that.
Right.
You should.
I hear
Hey,
you.
you.
Oh, probably get Board of Health.
All right,
first.
Bill and I will
Yeah.
help with those.
Okay.
So who we seeing about
So-
that? You?
Yeah, I'll go over it
We'll
with
get
you.
this, all right.
Yeah, and maybe with Lisa and.
All right, I'll start.
Kathleen O'Donnell.
I'll start
Okay.
haunting you.
Thank you.
All right, so you're
So-
gonna be,
I'll do
So
CPC.
we'll make a motion to nominate Frank as our CPC representative.
a hearty second.
Thank-
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're-
You know,
should
and
be
the thing
honored.
is, if it becomes where you can't go to
Speak up.
meetings, give one of us a
Yeah,
call.
well,
Okay.
we'll help.
So I went last night with a few members of CPC to the rec meeting, given the issues that came up with the Damon property and their search for
Right.
ball fields.
Yeah.
And we made a couple of suggestions. I had looked at some of the assessors' maps and made a couple of suggestions that they might try. If anybody has any knowledge, I think they're gonna try to get some courts maybe in Hummerock. You know, they're trying to spread out
Yeah.
their piece as best they can. And I'm not gonna pretend to know all the projects they have going on, because they have a lot of them. But they're desperately looking for other locations in Scituate to potentially put a ball field or two. Especially if things move around here. They have several projects that are on hold, waiting the outcome of the schools to see where they can place fields and where they can't.
Could we remove the parking lot behind my house and put that back to some sort of field? Is that big enough for anything?
I don't know.
Because the parking lot's not being used. I mean, it's
I think
used
it'd
for-
be a huge mistake for the MBTA to start to remove those.
All right.
Sooner or later.
Yeah, well,
That's
that's
another
what,
topic,
you know,
but
I just, but
maybe
that
street
that
hockey
isn't
or
open.
something they could play out
Yeah,
there.
well, I'd love to see it get used, you
Right.
know, because it just kind of sits there.
Maybe the people that park in North Situate Village should be made to park in the parking lot and then,
You know, it's just a shame that it isn't.
I know. Well, the same thing in
utilized for
Greenbush.
something. Yeah.
The same thing in good portion of Greenbush.
Yeah,
But
the upper
Well,
half.
this is the whole one.
we would hope that someday the train is more successful and more people.
I know, isn't that sad?
Yeah, well, the more they raise the prices and the parking and everything, the less people will ride on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's just this lot has been, this SIPO there, nobody. The only time it gets parked at is when there's a meeting at the WPA mill, you know.
It's your tax dollars.
That's all right, I mean, you know,
Okay.
whatever.
But they are, if, they've asked that we be part of that, Pat, you know, if we know of any pieces
Yeah.
of property or whatever that we could foresee, you know, they're hopeful maybe if the schools choose not to use Ellis, that they might be able to come back and think about a couple of ball fields.
I think the school made the decision that it's this one.
So far.
I think that was made,
Right.
that that's the one they're going to the
So they've
voters
got to
with.
work towards that end.
Yeah, that's the one.
And I actually suggested that maybe they take a look at a piece of property that the water department owns that might work, adjacent to where Pete Sherman is.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 20 acres there.
Oh, I don't think it's that big, to be honest. Really? Oh, the water department, okay, Teague Sherman
There's
itself
only a
isn't
couple
that
of
big.
acres, but
Yeah.
there's 20 acres.
That's true,
So, I don't know, we'll see.
true. Yeah.
Where is that?
Across the
It's
street.
right across
Oh,
the street.
near the garden? Near the garden?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
there's a
The
road
road-
that
The
goes
water
into the
department.
pumping station.
Oh, yes,
Run, things
up, going up
But
Chief
then the
Justice.
the
Yeah.
town owns like 20 acres that goes all the way up to
Like
Old
it.
Forge,
Wow.
Yeah.
so.
It actually goes to, the guy that,
Yes,
out there.
right.
What else do we have?
We have some orders under old business.
Okay.
Um,
Pratt, 180 Central Ave, footings for a deck.
no, we can't do that yet.
Continued.
Okay.
Barry's Landing,
Did we ever get all that information?
We did.
Seemed a little convoluted.
Yeah, there were a couple of conditions.
You did.
Yeah, this was, went back to North River Commission. They said that they would have to come back in if they wanted to put the wall in and put any fill in. They
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
approve it as part of their original RDA with them.
And when-
So they wanted to know if we would be okay with it, and then afterwards, North River Commission might vote it in, and we said, yeah, we'd be okay with it, but we want to make sure there's not extra fill brought in, or if there's any changes to the plans, they have to come back to us. There's one other thing, Carol, that was on the, I did it with Carol over the phone today, so I was,
That's efficient.
yeah, from the
All
CRS.
sure that you guys are gonna drag this out till 8 o'clock, so let's get going.
All right.
You got it back on, yeah?
Landing. Oh, okay, yeah, you guys haven't seen the conditions for this yet? The new
Yes,
conditions?
yeah.
Flowers Landing?
They've been,
Yeah.
and Carol sent the last thing out this afternoon.
Yeah, okay, so if the ones today get added, I think that'll be enough.
Yeah, we're all set.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got at it.
So I make a motion to accept the conditions for Seven Berries Landing as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Parsons, 42 Pin Oak.
I make a motion to accept those.
You did?
Huh?
Really?
Oh, Penny made a
I
good,
second.
Penny,
Well, I don't agree with
All
the
in favor?
project at all.
yeah, but
Aye.
you made a good suggestion about the backwash, so we called
that
them
and
and
the
we had
fill,
them submit
yeah.
some. I'm not a pool owner, so I didn't know about those things. But
Okay.
turns out this is not the type of pool that has backwash into the area.
But we don't want
Pull out
any of that pool
filters.
water going
Right.
there,
Okay.
and you don't want the
That's
fill
That's the
Okay.
one.
Right.
spread out.
Okay. And we're gonna, do we have anything in there to make sure that they plant the stuff that they, I mean,
Well, they're not supposed to start until they do the first
The-
set of
the
cleaning.
initial order
First,
of
the initial
conditions, yeah.
back piece, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
just think we need to ride her on
that's
that
all on
one.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is all here.
Okay.
It's on there, but I think they need a call too,
Right,
just a
right.
reminder.
Yeah, because they're just gonna,
It's the first time they didn't follow
yeah,
through.
they're gonna get
Well,
going on
aren't
the
they
pool.
supposed to, well, they're supposed to, once they get
Pre-construction.
these and
Yeah.
go out there. I'd like to be there the day the holes start, we'll see what happens.
All right, we'll camp out. Well.
Anyways, I make a motion to accept them.
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
And then the last one isn't really an order of conditions, it's an ORAD, it's order of resource area determination for Burke.
Yeah.
And it's just confirming that we agree with the
You're
wetland.
comfortable with all the pieces that are there?
Yeah, we threw in a condition, which you usually don't do in ORADs, but that's to clean out some of the debris that's dumped in there.
And he said he would, and he'll come
Yeah.
up and get
Little
a
bit by
mine.
little bit, Pat, you're gonna clean those wetlands out.
That's right, piece by piece, that's right.
Good. Anybody else?
Tomorrow, there's a meeting on the,
You just cut Rosemary off.
oh, sorry,
Well,
Rosa.
he didn't see her.
Oh, sorry. She's not in the usual seat, I can usually see her over there.
Just mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah, you're on the wrong side.
I'd like the reserve seat to, reserve seat.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody got your seat. Bad.
I talked to the young lady who was filming. I've had several people who see me sitting there ask me to check with you because they can't hear when it's filmed.
Really?
So I watched a couple of times, and Penny, we can't hear you because, I think it's because you're not near a mic. You can't hear the applicants.
But I
because
watch these meetings, I can always
the
hear.
only two I watched, I couldn't
Okay.
hear you.
So we need to make sure we spread the
You
mics
could
out.
just shift it down.
And
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, this,
Well,
I
the
noticed that
applicants
today, they were
was
sitting
probably-
on the other
that's
chair.
my
right?
mic.
What's your first
Can't
name?
hear Penny.
Brianna was good enough to make sure she moves
yes,
it around.
thank you.
We'll try
All right,
to,
and then we'll put
thank
this
you.
more in the middle this way.
we'll try to make an effort to,
Well, my foot, I don't even need a microphone.
And we,
I didn't know anybody was listening.
All the Scituate
oh,
can
'cause I always watch the meeting to see what I missed.
Well, you already know what you said, so you're not worried about it.
No, but I.
No,
think I
she
missed
never
it.
has any
I-
idea
my
of what she
voice-
said.
Pat, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's a pre-construction meeting tomorrow for 214 Clark Road, the Fern property. So we're walking it with Pat Brennan, I think, is the engineer now that's assigned. to see-
time?
It is, I don't know what time the walk will be. It'll be, the meeting is at 10, but that's with just building and planning and myself. But then the walk with Pat would be following that. It would probably be 11. And it's to make sure that it's staked out right for the erosion controls and they've done the turtle sweep and all that. Carol, did you send that turtle report to everybody?
No.
Oh, we have one big copy in the mail in the.
Did we find one?
I don't think there's, I don't know, he's been out there this week looking, maybe he has. I saw one hit by a car today.
Oh.
Yeah, box turtle, yeah.
Oh.
Not around here.
You
Come
see
around.
that a lot, going out the west end by Frank when you get into.
Oh, yeah.
Malvern. You see that pond there?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them, especially after heavy rain. It's very hot.
They need a turtle bridge.
I know. It is what it is.
Culverts, more culverts over the road.
Culverts, that's right.
In the town pier, they're starting.
Yeah, did you meet?
Oh, yeah,
with
when's
him?
that? Was that today?
I did that this morning.
Oh,
He
shoot.
bothered to email me back. Yeah, I went down, I met with them. It was a really good meeting. The DEP members up, they're raring to go. The fencing will go up the first of the week. And on the fencing, then they'll move the DEP number to the fencing. Now it's on the post. And they're gonna try and leave it open, just enough room for one vehicle to get through because the fishermen have to have access at all times. But there will be a sign saying, no public allowed.
How long's that gonna go on for, Penny?
It'll be most of the summer.
Wow.
But
Parking is just a nightmare down
they,
there anyway, so, yeah.
well, the biggest problem is with the hoist there to bring up the fish, so forth. But the
They're not
fish,
letting
we're
them
gonna
fish
work
anyway,
them.
so what difference does it make?
The boom, they have two, one with the silt fence that goes down 20 feet. That will be used when they're driving the pilings. It'll be 2 to 3 days of pile driving. Then they'll use the other boom with, it's a debris one that only goes down about 5 feet. That's for if a piece of wood gets loose, so forth and so on. They will clean up the yard every day, any stockpiling and stuff they will cover.
Who did you meet with, Penny? Which person was there?
I can't remember the names. Paul Scott, Mark Patterson, Frank Marachi was there. The fishermen were there. There was a bunch of fishermen.
Do they feel like they're represented enough and they can work with it?
Yes, because actually Paul took me first and read over the orders to make sure that the contractor, both foremans understood everything. And then they were going to discuss some more with the fishermen because it is going to be very tricky getting the boats in and out and so forth.
Well, they'll let them know if they don't like it.
Yeah,
No, they
well,
will.
that's, so, but
think?
they, look, it sounded like they were willing to work with each other. I did ask them, if you do have an issue, if something spills, gets in the harbor, please call us. Don't let somebody come and tell us that you had an accident. And they seemed as though.
Who was the contractor, do you remember?
I can't remember his name. I'm real bad with names.
Okay.
But whoever they gave them.
Was there somebody in the hallway with a set of plans, or was just the last folks to leave?
I think it was the last folks to leave.
Okay. I
I
didn't
saw
know if
that
it-
too.
the guy that.
But anyways, the meeting went well, and they understand all our concerns,
Good.
and that was that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Motion?
To adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What do you want?
Oh, excuse me,
I didn't.
yes. We have, I make a motion to accept the minutes for May 23rd, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Quite a beat.
Well done, team, man. Knocking it out of the
Is this a new record?